Let's welcome Andy to the stage.
You ever decide you want to be a different person? Now, I'm not talking about some other living person like Leonardo DiCaprio or Beyonce. It'd be nice, right? I'm talking about just a different version of you. But aside from a few snapshots in your head or some fleeting glimpse of what this new you looks like, you can't ever quite get enough momentum behind your thoughts or figure out the right first step or the appropriate catalyst to actually bring them into reality. Well, I was in a similar situation 25 years ago when I graduated from college. But instead of trying to be a different person, I was looking for a way to keep the person I always wanted to be from slipping away. Now, that desire took me on quite a journey across the country and across sports, where I dove headfirst into something I knew nothing about, had zero experience. That personal mission led me to, of all places, a professional pit crew. But before I get into the details of my story, I want to talk a little bit more about pit crews and the world of NASCAR. I also want to discuss the motorsports industry and provide a little history about just where the modern day pit crew came from. It turns out we've had a lot of change and evolution over these last 20 plus years. So it's helpful in our attempt to better understand NASCAR if we compare it to other kinds of sports. Okay, so if we look at football or baseball, for example, well, in football or baseball, you're guaranteed 4 quarters or 9 innings, the length of the game. No matter how badly you're getting beat, you have every minute of all 4 quarters or every at-bat in all 9 innings to try and make something happen, put points on the board, win the game. Okay, in NASCAR, and we'll look at our longest race, every spring, just up the road at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, we race for 600 miles. It takes over 4 hours to run the race. Now, Charlotte track is a mile and a half dogleg oval, and our race speed is 180 miles an hour. So, you know, if you do the math and solve for X, we turn laps at Charlotte about every 30 seconds. Now, I've seen this plenty of time in my career. We can make a big enough mistake on the very first lap, literally less than 30 seconds in, that we damage our race car beyond the ability to repair it. So it gets towed off the track, looking like some grotesque accordion, dropped off in the garage area. We pack it up in the truck along with the rest of our stuff, and we go home. And that race goes on without us. I fell into this world in the winter of 1991. I was literally laid out flat, recovering from back surgery. Due to college football and other athletic abuses, I wound up rupturing a disc in my lower back that required some pretty extensive surgery. Okay, this part of the presentation includes a surprise wardrobe change. Okay, so my idea to explore NASCAR was similarly simplistic. In fact, it started with this red windbreaker. Not a replica, it's the actual one. I saved it all these years. I thought it might be important. This red windbreaker and technically breaking the law. People tend to say, okay, well, you got big, strong guys and pickups got faster, so where's the magic? And that's the typical response to athletes. People tend to look at the physical manifestation of what athletes do. The fact that they're stronger, faster, can jump higher, drive a race car at 200 miles an hour. But the real value is in how athletes think. It's the cognitive building blocks that make up successful athletics that really is the gem. And it's something I've come to call over-the-wall thinking. And I call it over-the-wall thinking, of course, the reference to us in NASCAR. But I call it over-the-wall thinking instead of think like an athlete because I don't want people to jump to that physical world. This is a problem-solving approach. This is about the thinking part of athletics that over time lead to those physical performances. So I'd like to talk to you briefly about over-the-wall thinking. And when you talk about how athletes think, you can talk about a dozen things, but I'm going to briefly mention 4. Those crazy, game-changing ideas in your head, they can work. You've got to figure out a way to get them from up here out into the real world. I want you to think about me and my red windbreaker, okay? Any effort will do. Any momentum you can create in the direction you want to go will have a positive effect. Okay, I can give you the step-by-step decision-making that started with the idea to wear this red windbreaker all the way up to decisions that helped affect an industry. And with that, I'm going to say thank you very much for your time this morning. I appreciate you listening to some stories about me and NASCAR and pit stops. And please enjoy the rest of your conference. Thank you.